In divorces, most of the time, parties agree on many issues. That doesn't mean that it's an uncontested divorce. An uncontested divorce is when there's no disagreements, both sides can write up an agreement, they agree to it, and it's all finished in one package. However, there are issues that come up. Oftentimes, people can agree on child custody, but they can't agree on property division. Sometimes they can agree on all property division and they disagree on the child custody issues. Most of the time, people do not agree when it comes to support, both child support and spousal support. What's interesting is I regularly have clients who come into the office, they say, oh, there's going to be an uncontested divorce, it's going to be real easy, and it turns out it is contested and it gets heated. Other times I have people who assure me that their spouse is just a troublemaker and a contrarian and this is never going to settle, and we end up working with them and working everything out outside of court and getting it signed and moving on with their life. So it's hard to know when a non-contested divorce becomes contested and when a contested divorce ends up being non-contested. Obviously, if your divorce is non-contested, it's going to be a lot shorter than a contested divorce. Generally, if both parties can agree to things, it's going to take weeks to a couple months in order to handle things. So really, most of the time is going to be filling out the paperwork correctly. You have to fill out paperwork that clearly defines what all your property is. And it takes a lot of work sometimes to get the other party to cooperate. But once we get all the paperwork filled out that's required by the court, we write out a marriage settlement agreement that lays out all the terms. Both parties sign it. It's presented to the court. Eventually, within about 30 days, it's presented to a judge who signs it. It becomes the order of the court and is returned to both parties, and the divorce is finished, with the exception of the actual legal divorce being the divorce decree. Takes 6 months and a day from the date that the last party was served the paperwork. So the truth of the matter is almost every divorce ends up being contested. And the simple answer is this: the two of you are getting divorced for a reason. And most of the time it's because you have fundamental differences or just can't get along. The second most common reason is there's a lot of emotions that go into a divorce. There's a lot of hurt feelings, and people just don't want to agree to things because they're hurt. Along with that emotion is anger, and a lot of people are angry and just want to fight. And so things that should be worked out end up taking a lot of time and the involvement of the court. So I'll have a lot of potential clients call me and ask, do you have to have an attorney if you have a contested divorce? The obvious answer is no, you don't have to have an attorney, but if it's a contested divorce, I would not recommend showing up in court before a judge without an attorney. Your attorney should be a local attorney who understands that judge, understands these issues, and knows how to present your issues to the judge. So if it's contested, it's because it's important to one of the two of you, and you need an attorney to fight for what's important for you and your children in your divorce. If you find this video helpful and have any questions, please call Schank Family Law and we can answer any questions that you have.